Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. We have one
Hello.
viewer. So we've got a normal cast of characters. Obviously, we've got myself, Rob. We've got Jeremy down here in the bottom right. We got Matt.
Hello.
And we have a new guest. Why don't you introduce yourself, new guest?
I'm Blake Schroed. I'm from Michigan. Just competed in Kings of Memphis and run the Michigan GT. And this year we'll also be running Dragonfall.
Hello, Jimmy
Hey,
Livers.
Jimmy.
Jimmy was just
Yeah.
down here as well. We got some
You're
stories.
you're a busy boy, Blake.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, the funny part is he left here last night at 8 o'clock. So 13 hours later, he's at home. So he's only been home for 7 hours, 8 hours. I don't know, whatever it is. I'm not good with math.
Like about 10, actually. But yeah, slept for some of that, at least.
Awesome. So, well, I figured
I'm looking forward to seeing Paul next weekend, actually.
Are you?
Paul is saying good day. Yep, I've got a one-day tournament next weekend, next Sunday.
Are you going to win it?
No, because I think I'm going to take the Dragon Empire.
Okay, cool.
I'm more competitive with Dwarfs, but I don't play enough tournaments to qualify for Masters or anything anyway here. So I think I'll take my pretty army.
Do it.
Do it. I said do it.
Gorgeous.
I figured tonight what we could do is we've obviously just held our Kings of Memphis event here in Memphis. And I figured we'd share some thoughts and comments, and we got some stats like how many armies we had, which army breakdown, unit strength, and that kind of stuff. For those that are interested, we've got lists that we talked about last week, and we got lots of pictures and lots of great memories. So let's start off with Blake. I mean, obviously, I've been hounding on you for a while to get your butt down here, and so you and your son Kyle came down. I mean, maybe just talk about the experience of traveling to the Kings of Memphis.
Well, it's a little bit further than NashCon, but I think we can sum it up in one word: is a lot of really good food. I was amazed.
I'm fat. I'm much fatter today. I was fat before, but I'm much fatter now. Like I'm just like I even told my wife, I was like, no, I can't eat that.
I haven't had a bite since I got home. We got there Thursday night. And immediately went out over to the war room and checked it out. Everything was awesome. It's a great store. They have a ton of Manic product and everything, but they have a really good vibe there too. And then we met you, Rob, for lunch and started it off right. We even got some open gaming in on Friday. Had a blast just getting some practice games and getting rust out. I don't get to get enough reps to really play too tight most of the time, so it was good to get a practice game in and knock out some of that. And then the cast of characters at the tournament is incredibly cool. Get along with everybody. That's not abnormal, I think, for a Kings of War event, but everybody treats you right, and like I said, there's a lot of really good food. We ate.
Yeah, so maybe some generic stuff to just get us rolling. Obviously, this is the second year we've held Kings of Memphis. So Kings of Memphis 2. You're always hindered in Memphis is our tagline, and there's a reason for that. Now that you've come, do you understand why I have the tagline? You're always hindered in Memphis.
Yeah, having played on the jungle table in a mirror match, I do. For those who weren't there, I think Rob took the most guff for the river table. I think.
Yeah, let's see if we got a picture of that one. I'm sure. There it is. There's the river table.
No, I didn't actually get to play on it, and it wouldn't have bothered me probably as much as a lot of others. But that was the one I think the players gave him the hardest time for. But Rob always does great terrain, and I love each one has a theme, and it's really well done, and there's lots of it on every board. So he has a lot of fun doing that. And then, most of the time you're hindered unless you have something that prevents.
There's lots of terrain. Yeah. The highlight of the river table was well, first of all, just to be clear, there are 3 points on the river you can get through without being slowed. There's the bridge, obviously, which you can just cross, and it's just regular speed. And then there's actually 2 fording points, one here, and then one down here. So if you cross at one of those points, it's not difficult for the terrain for the purposes of movement, right? But I will say the highlight of my weekend was watching them play Plunder on the table. So you had 5 tokens in the river. It was fantastic. It was really like something to see, because you pick the token up and then what, you back out slowly. I don't know what you do because,
I personally, I would have had no problem playing. I would have loved playing on it.
Yeah,
probably helped me in every game. But
so, Blake, as a player, on a scale of 0 to 10, how broken was the Bard?
I don't think the Bard was really all that broken. Personally, offset the terrain a little bit with the Pathfinder and Strider. I've played in other tournaments where the special character is far more broken, for sure. This was useful, and a lot of people used it. Several people built their armies completely around it to take advantage of something that was normally missing from their army. But the rally is, I think, was the most popular one, at least on who I played against. And I actually took tempo for the movement just because nimble golems are kind of nice.
So to answer a couple questions we have in the chat, the bridge we counted as open terrain, so we didn't count it as a hill, but that's a good idea. It could have counted as a hill. And then no, it's not clear. It's difficult terrain, man, except for in 3 points where we treated it as clear. So that's and Jimmy, I like your idea about maybe we have a direction for flow, and if you're standing in the river, every turn you don't move, you just slide down a couple inches. That'd be awesome. So, but yeah,
that's funny.
But yeah, we got a few more pictures we can just as we're talking. I mean, we had a great turnout Friday night. There was probably 20 people there. Maybe not, maybe 15 to 20. And I don't know, there's maybe a dozen pickup games going.
That's
so
awesome.
That was cool. Yeah. There's a lot of guys that are so maybe Blake, you want to talk about this table? This is the jungle table.
Yeah. So most of the tall stuff you can see are impassable terrain, spread throughout the table. And then he has the woods,
the big, not the forests.
Yeah, the tall
the bamboo,
bamboo looking things. Yeah. So there's one that actually came off the base that was just difficult. So it was over by that tree in the back from this picture. So back there, where he has the mouse.
So this is an obstacle. There's an obstacle here. 2 trees or 2 woods, 2 hills. Too difficult, and then the rest is blocking. It was great.
Yeah, it changed a lot of things because I thought they were just difficult terrain. So at least Rob made it clear to us that it wasn't before we started playing. But there was a lot of terrain on this board. I ended up in a mirror match with another Abyssal Dwarf player, and our goblins met from this perspective, basically on this side of the board, and just kind of pounded for a little bit.
Yeah.
For Taylor, right?
Yeah. Had a lot of a lot of faces coming back to the scene. Here's Dwayne Richardson. Hasn't been with us in a few, probably a couple of years now. With our friend, King's War Jesus, also known as Nate Culvinger. There's another table that was there. I don't know, Blake. You're welcome to have the running commentary here.
Well, I played on that one as well. Let's see, the ship you made impassable, as well as the Sarlacc pit thing over here.
The sea monster. It's a sea monster. Come on,
sea monster.
It's obviously a sea monster.
Well, I was going to eat us if we got there. And then difficult for the dock, and then the 3 woods on that table, and the rest were hills.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is one of my favorite boards. It imagines me like these are all like islands, and there's water between them, but the water's like really not super deep.
Like 2-3 feet deep. Yep.
So I imagine you're waiting in between the water and between the 2 into the sand, whatever. So this was one of my favorite tables.
Yeah.
Either that or just make the whole table difficult and the islands clear terrain next time, Rob.
That would be awesome.
That was the other. That was actually one of the things we mentioned is this table would be really, really interesting if you actually flipped it and just said it's all difficult except for when you get to land. The nice thing is all those palm trees are magnetized. And obviously a great terrain, but that made it actually really easy to play on this board without moving things or having any problems, and it was an awesome table to play on. This
piece of terrain caught some flack, especially in the last game, because because it was not center. It was not put in the center. And so on the last, the last game they were. What was the game that Billy played Travis in? What was this? What was the scenario for that?
The last one was Dominate.
No, what was the one before that?
Raise, right? Wasn't it?
No, I guess it had to be Dominate.
Yeah.
And the center was like, was like right here. And so Billy
partially into it.
Yeah, well, Billy has to slog almost all the way through it to get to closer to the center. I told him that's a strategic thing, man. He could use it defensively. Yeah. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah.
Interesting, Blake. In a game like Kings, which is reasonably, I guess in some ways, the movement phase is the biggest, and you can find it reasonably predictable. Do you think the terrain on the tables changed results much from what you expected based on Army matchup?
I don't think it ever had that much effect. I think it challenged sometimes players with certain either matchups or with certain tables they're playing on, but it's a challenge for them to overcome. And I think the better players just got on with it and played.
So you think the cream still rises to the top in terms of player?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like I said, I agree with you 100%. It's all about movement, and the better players didn't look at the train and deploy out of shape. You know what I mean? They looked at the train and said, "Ooh, that's not what I would normally play on, but let's do this instead, and that'll fix it." And they got on with it. You know what I mean? They didn't actually get bothered by it too much. I mean, there was a few fiddly things that people complained about. Like I said, the river table wouldn't bother me at all. Other people didn't like it, but personally, I think it was a great challenge. And that's the board I wish I had been able to play on with my Army.
Yeah. Most of the boards, had like 10 to 12 pieces, and they were like sort of like a giant dwarf map. But then there was a couple special tables that had a little bit more, or like had a special feature like a river, or in the
because there's a few regions in America that play with very little terrain, isn't there?
Yeah, there are groups.
I think when Steve Hildrew came over for Adepticon, that was one of his comments, that the hills were kind of small and the terrain bits were small. I know the guys from Adepticon have actually redone all their hills and all their forests to make them larger, and they're going to include other ones as well as some more difficult terrain type, spots. So they definitely took that into consideration as well. But going down to these really beautiful boards that Rob had set up, which we've all seen all the work he did on Facebook, but it's great to play on that much terrain and that many great looking tables. At least for me, I love it.
Yeah, historically, this would have been a table that people complained about, but because of other tables, they didn't even really bring it up. Jeremy, the crowd is saying you're too quiet. We need. Oh,
I'm just letting you guys. I mean, I wasn't there. I was really bummed I didn't get a chance to go, so I'm just listening. But
we definitely had to have reinforced tables.
That was Adam Ballard making that comment.
Okay, definitely had to have reinforced tables for this one. This is a heavy hitter room. We got the Mountain Andrew Atkins and Kings of War Jesus Nathan Clevenger. So this is fun. I think Nathan pounded him pretty good.
So how many tables can the war room fit?
We had 15 in the main gaming room, like in the main hall, and then there was one back room that they have for D&D that had 2 tables, and then we have a streaming room, so there was 18 tables total.
Nice.
And then we were able to, because we only had 34 players, we basically set up all 18 tables, and so we were able to have some juggling with like one empty table. But then for Sunday, we just took the one second table down in the back room to give them more room. So yeah.
Get any good foot traffic of people like coming by?
Not really, honestly. Like, if they did, I didn't see them. But like, the war room did tell everybody, "Hey guys, there's no space to play. We got a Magic tournament in the back. We got Kings of War everywhere else. So,
this is. Am I? So Tom Adams has just had a baby. It's like,
yes,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Congrats!
Oh, congratulations, Tom. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, to be fair, it's my own fault for inviting Keith. He came and ruined the party. So, hey, to his credit though, he got a draw in the first round, having rolled 7 snake eyes in the game.
Look at that cutie. Congratulations, Tom.
That's awesome.
What a
Awesome.
cutie,
Super
a cutie
awesome.
patootie.
Yeah. Hard to think that something that cute came from Tom, actually.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. There must be a definite better half of the gene pool, that's for sure.
They don't call him Handsome Tom for nothing.
Big shout out to the new players, though, that we had that never gone to a tournament. This is Chase Thompson from Biloxi, Mississippi, about 6 hours from Memphis. He made the trip up. Really glad to have him. He brought Rory up. He was kind of like, when I talked to him, he was kind of like, I'm not sure how good I am. He did okay. He held his own, right? Like his first tournament, he's better than he thinks he was. You know what I mean? Like when you get to these events, like, yeah, if you know how to play the game, you know how to play the game, right? And
yeah, I got to play my practice game on Friday against him, and that's when his halflings turned into howitzers up on the hill. And just started.
You mean the horde of bowmen who shooting on sixes and wounding on sixes hit wounded 6 times? You heard,
yeah, it was 6 once, and I think 4 the other time. Yeah,
and then took them off.
Yeah, just goodbye.
And actually, this is the infamous 7 game, the 7 against Nick Gunther.
Look at Keith's elf arrogance with his sunglasses in his shirt, like he's some fancy pantsy ready to put them on at any time.
Yeah, good stuff. We had a lot of fun. You know, a lot of great.
Do you have
games.
the final placings?
I do. So let me pull those up here. Let's see here.
Is that
I was looking at the document you gave us before, Rob, and so ogres were the most there.
Yeah, maybe that's. I've got that up right now. Let's just share some information. So we had 34 armies at the event, 4 ogres, 3 abyssal dwarves, 3 free dwarves, 3 goblins, 3 undead, 2 basilean, 2 empire of dust, 2 night stalkers, 2 ratkin, 2 salamanders, and then we had 1 of elves, forces of nature, forces of the abyss, Rordia, kingdoms of men, northern alliance, twilight kin, and Varnger. And
pretty good distribution.
18 different armies out of 20 whatever. Pretty cool. Yeah. And then in terms of unit strength, the room, this is a 2150 event. We averaged 23 unit strength and 13 drops. And the high number for unit strength was 27. We had 2 people. Chase Thompson with Rordia had 27 unit strength and 15 drops. And then Ben Bowers with a quasi small regiment ogre army build had 27 drops with 15 units. And then on the low end, we got our guest here, Mr. Blake Schroed, with 17 unit strength and 12 drops. So that was pretty cool.
Yep. And so you had an average of 23 unit strength and 13 units.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And that feels about right, you know. I mean, maybe a little.
What I'd be really interested in, it's too hard to do, but what I'd be really interested to is how many of those units are scoring units. Because I think
good question.
Ogres being the maximum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't have the I don't have the inclination to do it, but if somebody out there wants to do it,
yeah,
lists are available.
Stevie Foster, only 3 night. No, we don't need more Night Stalkers. They're a too good an army.
So this is Chase. Chase is checking in. Yeah, we had a Chase Thompson, a Thompson Billings, and a Thompson Childress. So technically, we had 3 Thompsons in the room, which made for an interesting weekend.
Surely that's a world first.
And Chase,
family reunion.
Chase, you were doing just fine, for sure. Especially when it came to another later game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we had a lot of new players. So, like, this is Wes. This was his first 2-day GT. This is, oh, here we go. Kyle Pretzel Twinkie. On table 1, I had to put him on. I mean, with a beautiful army like that, I had to put him on the jungle table.
Well, that was Billy. A pretty game for sure.
Yep. It was really awesome.
Because Billy was playing the metal orcs, the heavy metal orcs,
death metal, and so if you ever see this at an event, by the way, Billy won best painted, no surprise. Yeah. He's got a speaker that's built into a rock stage, so he's got goblins, thrash metal, and on playing for the orcs, and all the orc guys riding crudgers and wing slashers are all playing guitar, and just it's amazing. It really is a sight to behold when you get up close to it. I don't know, Blake, you saw it at the event.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was a great army. I loved the one on the wing slasher with wild guitar just banging away. That was a really great figure. He's obviously he won. I can't remember how many votes he got, but it was like a lot. I think 11 or something like that.
So Kyle Prezelinski won.
Oh, that's right. Kyle
blocking his army, so he won Player's Choice without a display board.
Yeah,
what is this? The UK? What is going on here? No display board, and he still won Best Army.
Well, his figures were gorgeous.
They were very awesome, all done with oil paints. It's really great. Mm-hmm. And but he got 11 and
Mantic,
100% Mantic, including the Ember sprites, which he used some kind of sci-fi counter model. It's like it's a flame of some sort that came from the sci-fi game.
Yeah,
it's
so
cool.
He gets to keep these this week.
That's right. That's right. And then, as I mentioned, Billy won Best Painted. As we get through here, maybe we'll see some more. This is our buddy Jimmy, who's been on tonight with us. Let's see if we get some more people here. Hey, here's Blake playing our buddy Brian Swatley, Undead, and we always tell Swatley he has too many individual characters. I think. Did you beat him, Blake?
I did pull that one out. He rolled snakes and allowed me to take out one of his white units. But the next time he and I play, that Lich Lord's going down. It's personal between me and him.
This is our best general, Travis Tim. He actually almost pulled it out, even after taking a loss in round 4 to Nate Clevenger. He just thunder stomped Billy into oblivion in like 22 minutes or something. It was quick. But so that's our best general, Travis Tim. So big shout out to Travis for driving down from Omaha. Man. That's a long ways.
Yeah, that's
and, it was nice to meet his wife, and everything was really cool.
Travis did actually
have his goblins. I can't remember.
What's that?
Did Travis have his goblins?
Oh no, he played Northern Alliance.
Yeah, he had the Huskarls who couldn't miss, couldn't not wound. I actually got to play him in turn 3, and he near about tabled me. He had single units of Huskarls doing 11 wounds to my golems every time they could.
Bloody hell! 11 wounds on golems.
We call that good player when you're doing like 15 wounds on 18 attacks. You're like, oh, good player here, good player.
Yeah, well, I knew it was not likely going to be beat on Travis for sure. I was just hoping to give him a bit better game, but then everything just started disappearing as he came roaring in, and it was like okay, but that I need 3s. Don't say that. He had like 9 3s on one roll. It was like he would have missed with everything, but he had 9 of them as 3s.
Big congratulations to Dan Kamek, who pulled out Counter Charger. He was in the middle of the pack for
what
general
did Dan
points.
bring?
He brought his Ratkin list.
His Ratkin?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Gorgeous Ratkin.
Yeah.
And this is a fun table I want to point out. Round 1, Jackson Blakemore and Thompson Childress, both in the pre-teen, like 13, 14, 15 age bracket.
The future.
The future is here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we got Taylor.
Made more of that.
And we got Blake's son Kyle. Obviously, Taylor doesn't know what's going on in the game, and he's asking an important question like, "How did you get there? I don't understand."
That was their grudge match.
Work again.
Yeah, that was their grudge match as well. So.
Oh, I gotta call out. Kyle did like the most amazing. And I don't know if you have a picture of it, Blake, but his Rhodey Stark. He took the wing it from Armada, and he made like an Iron Man suit out of it. So like the pig head is the helmet, and the wings, and dude, it's an A+ conversion.
Cool. Yeah.
So cool. if you can find a picture, we'll bring it up at some point.
Well, I think Kyle was watching, so he should kick it to you on Facebook so you have it.
Okay, good.
I don't actually have.
I'm watching.
But yeah, he came to me. He's like, I have this idea for conversion. I got to do it, and you got to see what it was like.
So we got Empire Dust, but these are like dust. I don't know what they are. 3D prints. They're dust minions or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they're like little mounds. Like, what are those little dolls that run around? Like the round, not chibi, but the other ones. They're little squat ones. He's got a great behemoth. That's the turtle. And then I got to trade. That was Ryan's army.
Yeah, it was really cool. Got a few more picks. So this looks like Dan's rats and maybe Ben Bauer's ogres on the rat table. Yep. Yeah,
that's is an intense game because there's crap everywhere. There's measuring sticks and tokens and dice, and you're just like going insane.
Who's in whose flank now? What?
Yeah, I know what I was trying to happening.
They're serious. You know it's serious when they're getting out the blank bases.
The blank bases.
Yeah. So this is our local player Nick with his net list.
Oh, that's the 27 unit strength ogre army.
And those look like
it's a different one. He's got 2 hordes and then the rest are regiments.
He's in Dojo
and then, 7 characters or something like that. So yeah, he did real well in battle. He finished like 3rd or 4th in battle. So pretty good on him. This is Night Stalkers on.
That looks Tim Smith's army, right?
Yep.
Yellow.
Yep.
And was that Shannon or who was
this? Is actually Chris Bowen, our local player.
Chris Bowen. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. You can here's Matt Wiseman and his Kingdoms of Men against John Blake Moore's dwarves. I don't think it ended real well for the humans. I don't think. Now, we're talking about pretty tables. This is the one that pops. Obviously, Kyle Preslinski and Billy Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, while we're doing this, let me remove this. He did share me some pictures of this. I think you guys are going to get a kick out of this. Window. Let's try that. So let's see if I can zoom in to get a little bit better. I don't know how well you guys can see.
Oh, this is the Granny Snark.
Yep. That's his army. Let's see what we get. So this is his whole army, and then so I don't know if you can barely. It might be hard to tell, but basically it's a goblin. He took the Sting It model from Vanguard with the 2 daggers, and basically gave him the wings from the little Armada wing it, and so he could fly, and then use the front end of the wing it as the head. And it really is evocative, and I am going to totally steal it.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
That's cool.
It's a great idea. Yeah,
for sure.
So I don't know, Blake. What else? What were some of your other highlights of the event?
Jimmy screaming whenever something went really well.
All right, so there's about maybe like 15 years ago, I went to an event in Illinois, and I met this. I went to downstairs in this basement of this gaming store, and I met this old guy, big guy. His name is Jim Livers, and when I walked to the table, he's cussing out the TO for too much terrain on the table. But he's doing it in good fun. He's not like legitimately cussing it. He's just having a go at him. And he was like the most loud, fun player in the world. Now, I'm sure there's some of these like more like I am very serious players that might be thrown off by it. Like he's not talking trash. He's just boisterous.
Talking.
And I was very excited to have his son join us, Jimmy. And I remember one moment he goes, "I need 9s." Boom. Take it off. And the whole room heard it. And it was amazing. I was like, that guy's got gusto.
It was
a big appetite.
He just did this screech at one point, and I wasn't paying any attention to him. He was like kitty corner behind me. And sometimes you got to watch around old guys like me. It scared the heck out of me. He was just so happy that he just screamed it. And I was like, whoa. But he was having a great time. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Then,
we had a great cavalcade of people. It was a lot.
And then Kyle ducking me. Kyle Poole and I were always like a point or two off, and we never got to play.
So who ended up winning?
So Keith Randall took out Kings of Memphis.
Nice, congrats, Keith.
Obviously, I mentioned Travis Tim winning Best General, and Countercharger going to Dan Kamek. Huge shout out to David Goodman from Alabama. He took out Sports, which was great. Billy took out Best Painted. Kyle Preslinski took out Rocky Against Army. And last couple guys, Mark Burr took out Baddest Bard, and he had like 15 votes or something. Like a third of the room voted for him. So like he had this kick-ass like elf. Well, it was a human, but it was Elvis, and he was like Elvis that was going to fight. It was pretty awesome.
I have to say, with that army that I remember from Keith, that's pretty impressive on those tables to win. Those terrain-heavy tables.
Well, and Keith actually played Plunder on the river table.
Yeah, because he had a couple of hordes of Dracons, and I think he had
2 hordes, 2 regiments.
Which, of course, still going into terrain, you're still going to take a penalty if you're not moving. So, yeah, I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I think
he's played that list for the not the heavy elf gun line, but the just to shoot you just enough that you have to move forward into his range of his Dracons. So it puts you into a position where no choices you have are good because you can't make back. You'll get shot. You can't move forward because his height 4 will charge you 20 inches. So tough list to play against.
And then
right, all the threat ranges taken care of.
Oh, totally.
Deep trouble.
It's a very difficult army to play against.
And Chase is mentioning obviously West Peak, a local player here, who came in bloodiest general. And in his defense, he was working on salamanders, was going to bring salamanders, and like a week before, he's like, "I'm not going to get it done, Rob. I'm going to have to switch to Varanger." So he pulled an army off the shelf that hadn't ever played in Kings of War. It's a Warhammer army, and so it did not have the right pieces in it. I think he suffered for it. Losing. I don't
know if I've ever seen that though. Getting bloodiest general coming last.
Well, it's not it's not their blood. It's your own blood. So
right.
Yeah.
Right,
so you got bloodied the most, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, it was a great collection of folks. We had a lot of fun. And in fact, speaking of the devil, here's Wes playing Andrew Atkins on the Badlands table. I don't know what round, but yeah, it was yeah.
It looks like everyone had a good time.
Yeah. What questions? I mean, you guys weren't there, so I'm sure you guys got some questions. Fire away, man. You got someone that knows all the answers with Blake.
What do you think for next year, Rob? Are you still going to keep it in that store? I mean, if it gets bigger,
we're pretty much capped at like 36 players.
Yeah.
So we are going to very much make a hard push to move it out of the venue to a local Memphis convention center, hotel. And Mike ran a very successful 40K event with like 60 players earlier in the month of June. So we could probably combine those two together,
and have like a mini convention weekend or whatever.
We go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's nice. Probably what we're going to do. We're going to do our best to stay in June. Cause I mean, golly,
where else you guys put it?
Yeah, I was like looking at the schedule. I'm like, well, we could move this and then move, but like anywhere we move, there's a cascading effect, right? And it's just like, So
would Mike still be involved if you held it?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Mike is instrumental to this. I can't do it without Mike. Mike's my right hand man on this. I mean, in many ways, I just ran the event.
Out of it, even if
he was the infrastructure guy, right? So, and huge thanks. Let me take a moment to just say, huge thanks to Mike. I mean, he donated over $400 or $500 in prize support to the folks. Obviously, gave us his store for 2 whole days, which usually has a negative impact on sales when there's no foot traffic. So, and also took care of the trophies, which hopefully we'll have some pictures of. But they're
he just seems to run that store like how a game store should be run.
It's a business, but he runs it like a family business. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like clean and organized and to the point, and it just like seems like just such. You guys are lucky to have such a great store.
Yeah, and he took care of we've had people lunch on Saturday and Sunday. We had barbecue on Saturday and subs on Sunday. So he arranged all that, which was good because I was the only team. I mean, there was nobody there to help me. So I had to do paint judging. I had to do all the scoring. And maybe we'll talk a minute about that as well as I flip through some more pictures. We used the new software from Tim Lonis, and it was awesome. It was really awesome. However, on the TO side, there's still some quality of life features he needs to add to make it easier on me. And then also, we had a couple Luddites in the room. And no, Mike, you're not one of them.
There's one of them right there.
Yeah, well, for sure. Right. Doesn't have a smartphone, so he couldn't enter his own scores. So I had to, so I'm like, all right, I'm fumbling through trying to figure out how to enter his scores. So next year, I think what we're going to have is have a dedicated iPad that's just, you come in with your PIN, you log into the website, put your scores in, and then log out. And other people could use it. Because the whole point of the software is that we can be paperless, right? You enter in, win, loss, draw, kill, bonus objectives. Your opponent does the same thing. The computer matches them together. If it doesn't match, it tells me there's a mismatch. I yell at them to fix it, or I can fix it.
And for a user perspective, it's not very difficult. It's 30 seconds and you're done putting in the hardest part is knowing what are your points and making sure you put them in the right line. But that's just user stuff. Everything is rather simple, straightforward. Yes, no, that type of thing. So there was no problem with that. The painting rubric was the same way, 0, 1, 2. It was all very simplified and smooth for our end. I know for your end, it was.
The painting rubric was fine.
Yeah.
Basically after round 4, I think, or round 3, it basically told everybody, hey, here's a painting rubric, fill it out. And about 80% of the players did. And if you didn't, it's not a big deal. I mean, if you didn't want to rate yourself, I get it. It's kind of difficult, because you got some players that are too hard on themselves. Dan Kamek, he always underscores himself. And then you got players that they give themselves all the points, which so you kind of get a wide range of things. But what happens then is the TL goes behind and just goes through it and goes, yeah, makes their final changes, and then hits a validate button that locks in the score. And then after the round 5, the software sent you guys, when you talked about that, it sent you guys an end of tournament sheet.
It basically gave you a chance to basically pick your favorite army, favorite player, those the end type of stuff tournament. It was just simple drop down, boom, gave everybody's name. It was real simple to fill out. Takes a couple seconds and you're done. A lot easier than even walking to go and turn it in a piece of paper. So it was a lot, for the users, I thought it was a very, very good.
Hey, by the way, I didn't ask this week. How's my mic? Last week we had all kinds of fits. Anybody have any problems with my mic this week? I don't know what was going on last week, so I didn't fix anything. So just be curious to hear if there's.
It doesn't sound perfect from my end, but I'm also only using it today.
It sounds normal to me, Rob.
Okay.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, cool. I think yours. I think you're on a different setup because you sound like you're not using your awesome setup.
No, I'm not.
I heard some clicking on somebody's mic a bit ago, but other than that, it's been fine.
It's probably me, I'm sure. Well, it was a great time though. A lot of fun. Can't wait for next year. We'll put out some polls to the players to see, where we did, maybe Blake, talk about 2150, and then maybe we throw it to Matt and Jeremy. What do you guys think about 2150?
For me, it wasn't a problem. It was just a different point value. We normally do 2300, so you couldn't just take your cookie cutter lists. You know what I mean? You had to go and change it a little bit and do something different. I think Kyle, I think the big one was the no allies bit, because he normally uses some allies, so he had to redo and come with full goblins and fix his list to fit up to that. I think that was the big one.
Yeah, you definitely don't have all your toys.
No, you don't. You had to make choices. Matter of fact, got to play an Empire Dust player, Ryan. He didn't have all the legends. All he had was Shobik. So. And Epiphysis.
Did you hear that?
But he.
Someone asking for boobies in the background. Boobies!
Hey, Blake, what's going on here, buddy? Are you like, I don't know what to do?
Yeah, that was. Travis is a great general. He put me into a position where I had to make choices, and the choices were not optimal. But if I waited too long on the right, it was just going to be move you back a few inches and remake the choice. It wasn't going to get any better, no matter how long it went. So I had to be aggressive over there, and then I wasn't aggressive on the left, and that burned me hard. And then those Huskarls charged in on individual units and just killed them. And I think he took off. Was it 2 golems one turn, and then 2 golems and a Greater Obsidian the next, or something like that? It was just he evaporated my army. It just evaporated right there. I ended it with 2 guys hiding behind the pyramid and a bard on the other side of his table. That was it. So
sounds like a fun game though.
Oh, we had a blast. Travis is great to play, and I learned a lot. And but he challenged me, and unfortunately I came a bit short, but it was because I couldn't get beyond. In fact, he was just going to keep the pressure on. And then, his suggestion is just be more aggressive with all of them if you're going to have to do it. So I should.
What's really funny is we had our buddy Ian coming out of retirement to play with us, and he used my ogres, which is fine. But the really funny part is every event I go to, I break 2 or 3 models, and Ian broke none. So I guess I'm just an idiot with my own army. So yeah, what are you gonna do?
I think that's fair. I think someone else is much more likely to be more careful with someone else's model.
Man, and speaking of the devil, this is our buddy Ian playing our handsome Dan Kamek. So yeah, very, very awesome.
Look at that bicep definition on Dan.
Oh yeah,
he's
look
got
at that.
the guns out, doesn't he? Look at that.
Sun's out, guns out, baby.
Yeah.
I brought donuts in for him on Saturday. He wasn't having any.
Temple was shut.
Gotta watch the carbs.
Yep. Here's our buddy Thompson playing, or Chase Thompson playing Kyle Pretzelinski on just a normal table.
How was it for Kyle to just be able to just go to a tournament?
It's funny because
it
was really funny because I overheard he came in whenever and he was giving the sales pitch to Mike, and Mike's like, "You're here to play as a player, so shut up." And that was the end of it. Like that was it. Like you're here to play.
I think
doesn't Mike stock anyway?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He was just like, yeah.
Kyle was also having just fun being there playing. I think that was kind of a really nice thing for him.
It's nice though. We got a lot
Jeremy,
of
can we show your latest work?
Yeah, you got it.
To Masters?
No. You could bring it
Rob,
up.
I think it's in our chat. I think he loaded up some images yesterday.
Yeah, it's in there.
Let's see here.
From Sunday.
In terms of the 2150 thing, I think it's just different strokes, right? It's what you like. I still don't believe that there's any actual objective data that supports, armies playing better at one points level over another. I think it's just about what you want, and I think having a bit of difference is good.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy to play any points level really. There we go. Look at that beautiful beast.
Oh yeah.
So this is my one of my soul banes on Dread Fiends. If you go to the next picture, it should have like a little bit. Yeah. So my army is like a Greek snake themed army. So this guy, the scales on this guy, if you go one more and see his back, took me like for so long because I was trying to keep, there's like the dark red, the light red, black, and then light red, dark red. Like, and I'm trying to keep that on the same geometric space as the tail like goes up the thing. But I'm really happy with how it came out. I did for Masters, there is a checkbox for freehand. So his sort of tattoo, like sort of, I put like some Greek geometric patterns. Yeah, I put some sort of Pacific Islander tattoo. And then I had the swords done and I was like, these are just kind of boring. So I had some Typhus Corruption and Blood for the Blood God. So I just put a little Typhus Corruption to be like the guts and mush, and then did Blood for the Blood God on top of that for the blood, just to add like a little detail. I think it came out okay.
I like it. And man, those tattoos are awesome that you've done.
Sorry?
Those tattoos are awesome.
Oh yeah, thanks. So you start like I started with just like a very small, like I had a general idea of how I wanted it to be, and then just slowly but surely expand. So you're doing little, and then once you get enough little sort of like lines and air stuff, I think it then makes up for the times where you messed up a little bit, because there's enough happening in the tattoo that is sort of you lose
draws
track
away from
it. This is just a question on your technique. Did you actually like dimple it like a tattoo would, or did you actually paint the lines in?
So I painted it, and then I used some glazes to sort of fade the color out.
Okay.
To make it look like I did like a very watered down flesh glaze to just dull out. And then the actual tattoo is Dollar Rowney Payne's Gray ink from like a calligraphy ink pot, because ink flows much easier. So it's that with a little bit of flesh color mixed in. So then that way, as I'm drawing the thin lines, the paint rapidly comes off the brush when you're doing that like detail work. ink can be your friend.
So you don't have to use flow or anything like that.
No, so you're getting the sort of the same effect as if you were did a flow improver, but that ink is sort of like a blue, black, gray that is very kind of what you would think in traditional tattoo colors. So
okay, it almost looks like you did multiple colored dots almost because it looks darker in the middle and then fades so much.
Yeah, and
that's
that
what
was
I was
from
asking.
from
That's
the
great.
glaze. The glaze will kind of do that. It will get you kind of a little bit of a visual interest.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just the scales took for a long time. The blending on his belly took a little bit, but I'm psyched. I think he came out really cool. I was especially happy with how the flesh on his arms. I really tried to create like definition and texture in the muscles, like with all like the striations of him flexing and stuff. But yeah, so my plan was to finish him over not this weekend, but the weekend before, and instead it took me a whole week to paint him. But I have so much to do. I was up till 3 a.m. last night painting, and it's going to be like that way till.
So you've got one model finished for Masters.
No, I have actually a few, but I got,
but I have a question for the audience. What's the over under that Jeremy finishes his episode for this week?
Oh, I know Jeremy.
Look at that face.
Actually,
Look at that face.
No, yeah.
Look at that face.
I have a chunk of that already edited, though, and I'm going to finish it tomorrow. So I care about the show too much to not,
yeah.
So how much do you have left? And you have what, 4 weeks till Masters?
So I have a lot that's done at my horde of neophytes. 3 are finished, but all the rest are completely base coated. They just need to be highlighted. So I have lots of stuff at like various stages. There is nothing that's not been touched. So there's stuff of the army but I need to be finishing three models a day basically to be in time.
Okay.
To finish in time. But like I said, I have a couple more days of work, and then I'm off the entire month of July. So I'm going to have a big chunk of time to finish it. But
so we got. Nice. I know we're coming.
Well, then in that case, I have full faith in you if you've got a whole month off.
Oh yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Ye of all you little faith, always making fun of me, saying I bring nasty lists and not going to finish painting my army, and screw you guys.
Not too late.
No, I'm submitting. I'm going to submit the Masters lists are due on the 1st, and I'm submitting the Twilight Kin list. So I have to.
And there's not going to be any butchers that just have to be like.
There's not going to be like 3 angels helping them out, or is it?
I don't know what you're talking about, Rob. That never happened.
Okay. Well, I know we're coming up on time. I figured we could show some pictures of some of the armies that were at the event. This is John Blakemore's Free Dwarves. Obviously, lots of Brocks. And lots of rocks, and then a couple ranger units in the back. And you can see his bard is really cool. It's a guitar player right here. Really awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
There were some really awesome bard models, I will say. I really appreciate people putting that kind of effort into, coming to this event and you're making a one-off model that you realistically might not get to use again unless, I'm telling you here now, we're going to keep the bard. So, but we want you to give us a new bard every year. Don't bring the same one every time. So John did a great job. This is his son, Jackson. He unfortunately the picture's a little, or maybe I'm zoomed out a little bit. I am. Okay. So not really, but lots of angels, lots of fire. It's pretty cool.
I love the
I'm sorry.
Phoenix, the Mantic.
Phoenix did a great job. His mom did an awesome job on it. That's what we kept telling him the whole weekend. Oh. Historically, his mom paints his armies.
Oh, okay.
And he says he painted it, but I kept the whole weekend. I don't believe him.
His mom says it's cool.
Yeah, his mom thinks it's cool. This is Chris Bowen and his Night Stalker army. Sort of inspired by someone we may know named Adam Ballard, but he doesn't have the most important thing in Adam's list here. So that's why he doesn't win as much. This is the net list. It's a little bit different in the sense it's got a couple hordes and it's got Kuzlo, but it's still got a lot of unit strength, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and he has a cool bard too. It's like an eagle, like a bipedal eagle, which
cool.
It's a 3D print because he was trying to make it match like the Griff Hounds and stuff that he had in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Stormcast, ogres, not my cup of tea, but to each their own. Hey guys, this is Keith's army, and I want you to know that his unit selection he felt was very thematic. So I had to disagree. Wins. Yeah, winning is the theme, but it's but yeah, you can see it looked like he had a blowout here on one of his things, but it's really cool army. I like how his board actually folds in half.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat for travel purposes.
Yeah.
This is that army I talked about, made out of the 3D prints, the little mud people.
It's Ryan's, right?
Yeah,
Ryan's.
Ryan Johnson used to be Sean Williams until Sean realized he couldn't beat Jeff O'Neill and quit the game. When you become someone's bitch, like at some point you just give up.
You just retire. You're like, I'm done. None more.
Ironically, that didn't happen with Nathan. Nathan's like, no, I'm just going to change armies and beat the shit out of Jeff. So, good on Nathan.
Always adapting, always be growing.
That's right. Dan Kamek, beautiful, beautiful army. If you haven't seen it in the flesh, a lot of like pearlescent metallic tones. This army won best painted last year at my event.
I like the product placement too.
Hey, baby. Yeah. I'm a professional.
I will tell you, it was nerve-wracking playing them just because they are so pretty. They really are, and I just didn't want to scratch or break anything.
Yeah,
he's an amazing painter.
Yeah. His blends on that Scud model are amazing. Have you seen that one, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Well, when you can hold this position for so long, it must be, quite easy to get all that detail.
Yeah. His blends are really, really good, especially on that Scud model.
He's the airbrush king. He is definitely the airbrush king.
His transitions are really, really, really good.
Yeah. And I don't know what to say. I mean, I can't apologize. I mean, the reality is he's not going to pay a new army, so we're just going to live with this for the rest of life. This is in perpetuity. This will be Devlin Smith. And at this point, you can't buy new models.
Well, is he going to do a Mantic EOD now that the EOD stuff's coming out and is amazing?
I've known Devlin for 17 years.
Yes.
I'm going to say no.
Not that.
I'm going to say this is the high water mark.
I'm going to give
him
the
painted army.
Time I see him then.
Yeah. This is our local player, Chris Goad, with Revenants and Whites, and then there's some nasty. He's got what's his name? Yeah, the nasty flyer guy. Oh, come on,
you need to get on to him about some more models on that.
Well, so here's what's funny. He's not listening, I hope, but Austin, the store manager, Austin Casey, the shitless wonder as we call him,
the shitless wonder,
just because for a while you only had like 5 or 6 models here, and he's like, "Hey, bro, let's get some models." So he is improving. He is adding models. But you're right. This is a horde. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 models for a 40-man unit.
Yeah. So even a couple short of.
Well, I guess he's counting. Maybe he's counting these tombstones.
It's the tombstones. That's what he's counting.
Yeah, that's right. Those are the dead guys.
Yeah.
But even 5 on the Wraith troop or 6 on the Wraith troop. Yeah, he definitely has room to spare.
Yeah, the Wraith troops look a little bit more full, though. I would say the bases look a little bit.
Oh,
more full.
And I forgot to mention, obviously, 2 white.
He's got almost full model count on the whites, though.
Yeah,
he's got 5. Yeah, preferred.
Yeah. Got a question for you there, Rob?
Yeah, that's a great question for us. What about the armies were Mantic mostly? I'm going to ask Blake. It really felt like there were more Mantic armies than non-Mantic armies there.
I was going to say, I think it was just over half were Mantic or fully Mantic.
Yeah.
Nice.
It probably, even hitting 60%, 65% if you say had some Mantic or some. But I mean, at least half, I would say, definitely were all Mantic.
Yep. I would agree with that assessment. Oh, here are the Sons of Corrigan. I don't. John Blakemore took these pictures, so I don't know if he got extras, but it's a spectacle to behold because there's this giant. Dave Fan, no halflings. No, nobody brought halflings. I mean, other than the ones that were in the Rotary list.
I have to tell you though, like the Mantic models, I put together EJs over the last couple of days. They're nice. The Grenadiers, they're a nice resin kit, and the resin is silky smooth.
Awesome. So this is Obviously, he's got this the shrine back here. He's got the winged slasher, a couple of the Manticore dudes, some characters, and a couple of big hordes. But this is the standout, right? This is the full on rock band, and I don't know if we'll be able to see this or not, but this is Blaster right here in like Kiss face paint with a microphone as the lead singer.
Nice.
And what you don't see underneath is there's a Bluetooth speaker and thrash metal, which is what Billy normally listens to. So this is Nathan Clevenger's army. When I see this army, I always think of that episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, with the Watcher or whatever, the original.
The one with the portal, where they go through the portal.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and shout out to Felix. He went to Mountaineer this weekend. I think they had 34 at Mountaineer, and I think we had 36. I don't know. So I mean, combined, it's a pretty good number. 70-ish players. So hopefully we won't be on the same weekend next year. That would be ideal. This is Ben Bowers. No, this is Andrew Atkins. Ogre list. A lot of cool conversions. So awesome. This is Kyle's army. We talked about a little bit earlier. And then I guess that's it for picks. We just got a lot of. I don't know. How would you wrap this up, Blake? It was a good time.
It was a great time. The drive's a bit long to get down there, admittedly, but it's something that Kyle and I just had so much fun of. We want to go immediately turn around and go back there next weekend. It's that simple.
Yeah, I can't wait for next year.
As a shout out for your store and community, it's great. I'm up here in the Midwest. Going down to visit you guys down there has always been great, and everybody's been awesome. Great challenge games and a ton of fun. So thank you.
Well, next year you might get the top dog, Jeremy Duval. You never know.
Yeah, we couldn't make it. We understand exactly why, because
I was really bummed. We wanted to go so bad, but it's just like so expensive. When it was more to go there than it cost us to go to Maui for our honeymoon, we were like, maybe not this year, but
yeah. Well, I think Kyle ended up flying because it was cheaper as one person, but like when Kyle and I looked at it, we had to drive. There's no way we could afford to fly. So for you over on the other side,
but I definitely want to get out there.
This is where Brian Trahan was. I swear he was swearing at me in Creole. He was saying something about jambalaya, shrimp, alligator.
It is bullshit.
Is that the game you made him take the riverboard?
I did. So
everybody else got to pick, but
so let's set this up. So last round, I said, all right, those of you guys on tables 1 through 4, you actually can win this thing. You're playing on the normal tables without the bullshit terrain. So they played on normal tables. I said, everybody else, pick a table. Brian Trahan will be playing on the river table. So whoever he's playing, I apologize. And it turned out to be Kyle. Because he whined about it so much, I had to do it to him. But
I think that's why he's swearing at you, right?
Yeah, and to be fair, no one takes a beating like Brian.
And I love that not only he's swearing, you see his finger, he's like pointing. He's like, this is what I'm mad about.
Look at Kyle. He's even a little red and flustered over there.
Yeah, Kyle's just like,
he's embarrassed for me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, geez.
Well, yeah, that was great. I mean, look at this cluster, man. Brian's abyssal dwarves going at the salamander.
Nothing like a tournament with a bunch of good dudes with great terrain. It just looks like you guys had such a good
it was fun.
I did have a question. I never did actually ask on that one on the bridge. If you have a horde going over the bridge, is it?
It's
just
fine. It's
open?
clear terrain. As long as you're touching it, you're good.
Okay, I had that question. Is if you're wider than the bridge, what would happen?
I'm not that big of a douche. This is top table last game in the stream.
Well, actually, yeah. The buddies, the car companions, right? Did they all drew down there together?
Yeah, they did. Well, actually, Nathan came up with Ryan Johnson. Tim Smith,
Tim
and Keith came Saturday morning because they're only like 2.5 hours. So, well, awesome guys. I don't know. Final thoughts. You guys have any questions, comments? If not, we can wrap this bad boy up.
I'm excited to become next year. Hopefully,
Blake. Thanks for joining us. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you. I had a great time.
Blake.
Thanks.
Hey, Blake. Before we do get out of here, you got to plug something, right?
Oh yes. So beyond a great time at Kings of Memphis, we also do Michigan GT. I know we're going to have a bunch of guys there this year. What?
You got your shirt on,
What's
right?
this? Oh yeah, Michigan GT right
Well,
there.
that's for last year, right? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but this is the new one is September 30th, October 1st and 2nd. Beyond Kings of War Grand Prix, we're gonna have Dead Zone and Armada and some Firefight Learn to Plays, as well as the big game, which is 25,000 points aside Kings of War, and then tournaments on the Saturday and Sunday. You get a 2,300 point army and a chariot, and that player pack will be up as soon as I actually get some sleep and get a chance to finish it up and get it out to everybody.
Cool.
And then it's same as last year. I think we're going to have a much bigger turnout. We had 20 last year. We had some of the better players in the Midwest as well.
It was a Masters list, like literally like 20 players, but like 12 or 13 of them were Masters qualifiers.
Yep.
So I played John Carter, and I played Shannon Shoemaker, and Jeff Franz, and Bart Taylor, and Donnie Croce, and at least four of those guys. Yeah, so at least four of those were Masters players. It was rough.
Yeah, and it's
great.
It's a great tournament. Everybody's, it's a fun tournament. That's kind of what we're having. The Michigan GT is similar to Adepticon or NashCon. It's a wargaming convention. They have a bunch of big, huge tournaments. And we have a bunch of people last year from, I think, Minnesota, and also hopefully Rob and some guys will be making it up as well from the Southeast.
I came by myself last time, had a great time, and I told everybody I'm going to kick you in the ass if you don't come, because it's for them, this is the cheapest event possible. We're staying at my mom's. She's feeding us breakfast. You pay for your tournament fee and you split the cost of gas. That's it. And everything else is good. So let's go. So if you're Memphis, you better get ready.
Yeah. So we're basically, hopefully, my goal is to be about the same size as King of Memphis this year. That's what I'd like to have everybody at least around 36 or so. It'd be great. Okay.
Awesome. Well, you want to take us out, Jeremy?
Sure.
Maybe your daughter wants to do it, Matt.
Sound like it at the moment. All right. Are you going to do it, Jeremy?
Yeah. Just remember to keep countercharging. Look out for those boobies.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.